for her.
The one they just showed, right?
And it's going to be coming up here, and she was scooting all over the house with that. So when I told him that, he said, well, if you're going to provide her with transportation, he said, I don't know when she's going to walk. Here we are up at Lake Geneva.
So did you take away the transportation?
Yeah, we did, and then Dad and I would get a couple feet apart, and, you know, one would hold you, and then you'd go to the other one till you realized that you didn't need to have that little walker.
Were you going for a boat ride here, or just...
Probably.
Yeah, we were going for a boat ride, John. That was an inboard.
What would you do, rent a boat then, or what?
No, we had friends up there. There's a lot of times we went with the boat.
It was a Chris Craft, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a Chris Craft there. That belonged to one of the people up at the lake. What's their names? They lived in Aurora.
Not this boat.
I thought it was.
How could it be? Marilyn was grown when we got acquainted with those
was
people.
it? Oh, okay.
No, that could, you mean, I know who you mean, but
They had one just like that.
they had one like that, but
Look at Marilyn standing here.
Okay? Okay?
Okay.
you shave there.
Yeah, that's like Geneva, isn't it?
Yes.
That was long before you ever bought a house up there, right?
Just
Oh,
a minute.
yeah.
I think so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think Kathy was probably about 15 or 16 when we bought the house. That was 1961.
My 16th birthday.
Was it your 16th birthday? I didn't know that. Remember that.
Yeah, it was in the 16th.
About the time of my 16th birthday in the spring.
We had looked at the house the fall before, and then winter came, and we
Well,
decided.
they wanted a price, and I gave them a price, and he said, no way.
But they finally came around to it and called us.
So I told them, forget it, and in the spring they called me and said, is this price still, does the price you wanted to pay still stand? And I said, sure. He says, well, you got it. It was way off from what they wanted.
Tell how much you paid for it, too. Someday that'll
I
really...
believe it was $11,500, wasn't it, dear, that we paid?
$1,000 down.
$1,000 down, and
$100 a month.
$100 a month, and
They didn't want their money. They didn't want their money.
yeah, and then I agreed to it and on the contract, and I was paying them $100 a month, and I said, this is for the birds.
After about 2 years.
About 2 years, I said, I'm going to pay them off. And so I called them and told them I was going to pay them off in cash. And the guy says, we don't want the money. You can't give it to us. We got a hired lawyer. We had a big court fight.
Well, it didn't
We-
go to court.
Well, it didn't go to court, but it was right up to it.
Marilyn got in on that deal.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Here is Marilyn out in our backyard. Has the tape run out?
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
What are you doing?
And, yeah.
Is the tape okay now?
Yeah.
This is back to Penn Avenue.
Yeah.
Is the tape okay now?
Yeah.
This is back to Penn Avenue. Meryl was a very careful walker when she started to walk. Very carefully she walked.
Marilyn's always been real careful. Marilyn, look.
Very careful for somebody who gets in all kinds of messes on the road.
That same house that you probably, what did you pay for it, did you say?
The lake house?
Lake house?
10,500?
11.5. With the furniture. That was full of furniture.
Is now worth about $150,000
Yeah. Oh, yes.
in 1989.
Mm-hmm.
And that was about what year?
That was 61.
61. And when we sold it, I forget exactly what we sold it for, but we got all done. We had $50,000 over.
They had a piece in the Windmill News telling about what happened a number of years ago. Showed the theater downtown here where Dad worked. And tell a real nice, right downtown here.
In Batavia.
Joe Burke
Did
run
you
the
get
theater.
that paper?
The Windmill News.
Yes.
It's in there, and it describes this home, and tells how nice it is. And I think it was what, $40,000,
Yeah.
or was it 40?
What home?
There was an ad in the paper.
Oh, in
Did
there?
you see that?
There's 4.
4,000.
4,000. Oh, yeah.
And
40.
it described it
You
like.
buy a castle for 40 grand.
That's right. It was 4,000. It sounds incredible. I'm thinking 4, and I thought, oh, it couldn't be that, but it was, John.
Right.
You saw that, did you?
Yeah. Grandpa gave me a copy of the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, your friends, they found a pearl and got a house.
Oh, yeah,
together.
Jack and Mary. Mary's father
Mary's
found the
father.
pearl down in the river.
Yeah, he used
Bought a home.
to
Oh,
go.
yeah, back
River
then
here.
people didn't
Bought a
make
home with
$50,000, $60,000.
That's what he did. He
He-
retired
he,
and he used to go along the river and look for
Well,
pearls.
they went in with hip boots, and they got, I think she said, clams out of the river,
They
and
took that little thing
they'd
in.
open them up, and a few people got a pearl, and he got a pearl that they got $2,500 for, and that was enough for them to buy a nice home over on Walnut Street,
Walnut
about a
Street.
block
We know the house.
block
Beautiful place.
west of 31. Nice big 2-story house.
Yeah.
Yeah. But people made a lot of them made their living.
That's Jay Guzman.
But those, that's Jay Guzman, the boy who lived, the neighbor boy.
Bungalow we owned on the east side of Aurora, we paid $2,750. And I had $750 and went to the building and loan, and they said, "Where are you working?" I said, "The Isle Theater," and everything. "How much you making?" I
old were
said,
you then?
$55 a week. And he said, "Boy, that's a good
Well,
job."
I was 29
That was
when
big
Marilyn
pay
was
then.
born, and she's
But they wouldn't give me a loan
she's
for
probably
2000
3 years old. So I was, what would you
So I
say,
went to Joe
31?
Fagan and
I was 31, and I think Marilyn was 3 on this picture.
he went down and
Can-
he said,
am I
"Okay,
talking
you
too
can have
loud?
a loan."
Oh.
'Cause Mr. Fagan will pay it if you can't.
There we come with the ribbon. See?
Oh.
That
Now,
look.
now we got
She's
here.
starting to look like her own mean self.
Now you say that.
Yeah.
And she's got the dimples too.
Hi. Marilyn. Hi.
Wave. Yeah.
Pardon?
John, that apartment building over in Hammond Avenue in Aurora, we bought for $7,500. Four
Sarah?
apartments.
Sarah? This is Aunt Marilyn. She was a little girl.
Actually,
How much?
I hired
7,000?
stunt double.
500.
For 545 Hammond Avenue.
Mm-hmm. 543, 545.
And you know what? We were the first people that ever paid it.
Paid it off.
It had, you know, in those days you had abstract, a big book, the history of your property from the time it went from a vacant piece of land. And in there it told who all had owned it and everything. It was a doctor's home at one time.
Nobody ever paid for it.
Our home. But the place over on Hammond Avenue, on the abstract for that, nobody had ever paid for it until Dad and I got
Was
it.
that 2 separate houses or one house?
Where? Hammond?
Hammond Avenue.
4. It's one big.
Four?
One
Four
big
Four
building.
flat.
Oh,
Four
I thought
flat.
you owned two separate buildings.
No, I
Well,
did.
did. One on
But
Penn.
that was on Penn. I owned 2 buildings there.
Oh, you didn't own two that were right next to each other?
The
No.
one on Hammond we never lived in.
We never lived.